before this starts spawning, when we do our full clear like this, we're gonna have like 30 seconds here, right? And this is what I want you to think about is spare tempo. This is, you have 30 seconds right now to gank bot, to place deep vision, which is what you did, to gank mid. Once this 30 seconds is up, you're going back to the Krugs. And then that's round 1 complete. Round 2 begins, and you're doing the same thing. Once you're running to your Krugs here, you're gonna thinking time right here, right? This line. Can I gank top? If it's low percentage, if he still has ghost, if he's full HP, if his wave is in a bad spot, all these bits of information that's contributing to it being a decision where you say no. Okay, we're gonna do 1, we're gonna do 2. Okay, once we're running to 2, we're gonna think, okay, let's start looking at the bot lane now because I'm starting to get in that proximity, right? Now I'm gonna start to plan, okay, where did Kai'Sa start? Did she start from top to bot? Did she start from bot to top? You know, if I know that we're mirrored cross like this, if I'm pathing like this and she's pathing like this, or maybe after Raptors here, I'm going to start to think, okay, maybe this is time to do Dragon. These are basically the fundamentals, and you want to think about your game like rounds. You want to think about your game. You're playing towards in proximity, which is another thing that comes up in this game. You want to be in proximity to the lane that you're playing around, essentially. That is most likely for you to get a kill. What's up everyone, my name is Coach Leo and I'm an ex-pro jungler of 6 years, competing at events such as Worlds a total of 4 times, where I played against the best players across the globe. Now in 2024, I've been coaching hundreds of players to reach their dream rank. So if you've had enough of being the same rank every season and want to finally take action, book your first session and join the Jungle Gap Discord today. Okay, yeah. So we're pretty much going to focus on the on the early game. These 2 weaknesses that you kind of said were issues for you did definitely come up in this game quite a bit. So the camera control and information gathering and Jarvan specific ganking or farming, because you were in that kind of Shyvana mode. These are more mid to late game, which we might not have time for. But in terms of the early game, this is essentially the fundamentals of jungle. And basically we're just going to be, there's nothing super specific, but these were the main themes that I see in your game where you could improve and what you should focus on first. First thing we're going to talk about in the themes, which is the pre-game plan. And I have here in my notes, you know, I just said pre-game plan talking about who gets push. And essentially, like there are more, yes, priority is something that's, it's okay to think about, but there are much more important things to think about for yourself as a jungler. So like the number 1 thing you need to think about as a jungler, if there was one thing to do in a pre-game plan, it's where can you get kills? That's it. That's like the number 1 question. Which lanes do you think are most likely going to get you kills? And you also said generally you just pared the bot because we think AD carries kind of decide the game and dragons are better than grubs. Okay, so although this generally is kind of a safe way to play right now, I still think that you should go through the reasons of why you're doing something. And so in your pre-game plan, literally 2 things. I wouldn't even go that much into win cons in general. I just want you to know where you're going to path to get kills, which is generally going to be like 3 different categories. It's going to be like volatility, gank setup, and enemies mobility. These 3 kind of factors. These are trying to figure out like which lanes, you know, how do we figure out which lane is most likely to kill? This is really what it comes down to. It also comes down to summoner spells as well. So in this game, I think top lane volatility, you know, I think Mundo's probably just going to farm. I think he's going to get poked by Teemo. So I don't think it's going to be very volatile. Gank setup, okay, 0. It's a Teemo. Mobility, he has Ghost. He doesn't have Flash, which is kind of like, it's kind of like a tick, but he has Ghost. So, you know, he doesn't have much mobility. So that's the one good sign, but it doesn't really look great so far, right? It looks like, and I'll get back to the top lane. Okay, mid lane, Vladimir versus Fizz. Volatility, potentially, right? It is a Vlad, so he's probably just going to be farming. We'll give that a dash. Gank setup, at 6, it's good, but pre-6, no. So at 6, if Fizz lands ult with Ignite, it's going to be, it could be good. And enemies mobility, it's a Vlad with Flash, Ghost, and Pool. So not great either, right? Bot lane, volatility. It is 2 range supports, but it is kind of a farming lane. So I'm going to give this a dash. Gank setup, not really anything that's really, you know, you can't, nothing really reliable. Velka Z is not really reliable. So not really great gank setup. Enemies mobility, they have nothing. So this is a big tick. And so in this kind of game, we don't really have many great options, right? When you don't really have many good options, it's kind of like you want to start thinking about, well, bot lane was the best of them, of the bad options, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why it was the best of the bad options is because basically in this game, you can start to think about which objective you want to play for. So if your teamer was like going like demon mode this game, and he was like, for example, you killed top maybe early, and your teamer was going demon mode, and maybe you can put your eggs into the 6 scrub bag, and then, you know, he plays to kind of like split, okay? But in this game, there's a really big obvious win con, which is just Soul, because the enemy, as we said, are fully trying to outscale. Mid outscales, jungle outscales, 80 carries are like somewhat even, right? Smolder maybe giving him to him slightly. Lulu outscales, Mono heavily outscales. So they're playing really hard scaling. So there's two things we know this game. We know we want to kind of path around bot. We also know we kind of want to get soul as soon as we can. Okay? So that's like this pre-game plan done. We know we want to path the bot. There is a small little chance, which we'll talk about, which is going to be the next thing. So pre-game plan done. So now we get to like tempo, and this is where I want you to have, I don't think your clear was very, like, it wasn't bad, but it also is something that you can always work on. Clearing faster gives you more tempo. And I'm going to explain, like, this early game was just a very good example of just like fundamental jungle concepts, right? If we go to the Rift Kit, okay, and we have this game plan now, right? And also part of that game plan is knowing how we're going to use our trinket. So we're versing a Kai'Sa. You generally, you don't want to be too AFK here. If you can, you want to try and think about also, so in this game plan, we also want to think about where we want to use our trinket. So every single game, I want you to get active about using your trinkets somewhere to try and track
I'm
Kai'Sa.
always, if I'm starting top side, right?
Yeah.
I mean, red team and I'm starting top side, I'm always confused where to put my trinket.
Okay, so there's two options here. You can either ping your team to help you get a ward here, Raptors, or red. This is probably the best ward you can possibly have. All you would do here is at like, 50 seconds, you still want to pile top to bot, right? But at 50 seconds, you're just going to run down here. You're going to spam ping your team to come and help you. You're going to consider the enemy champions. They literally have zero threat, right? You could probably do it solo. Invading topside is a little bit more scary, right? Because it's a Mundo. If a Mundo sitting in here and cleaves you to your face, he's going to deter you, right? So you could have easily just ran in here at 50 seconds and got a ward here solo. But generally, you want to have your team help, okay? So I'm going to actually just play out this game from this Rift Kit and how you should be thinking, okay? So you ward here.
Yeah.
And we're just going to talk about all the fundamentals, and then we're going to, okay, yeah, this ward can be, yeah, never mind. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you're starting red. So number one thing in this theme, which is tempo, we want to clear down to bot. And we're going to talk about, I want you to think of the game as in like rounds, okay? So each time you clear and each time this starts spawning is like a round. Okay, this is like the first camp in your cycle. So round one, you're going to do 1, 2, 3. And then because in our pre-game plan, we thought, okay, top might be a gank opportunity, right? So this is how also your question of, I don't know when to full clear or when to like think about ganks. While you're running to like number 3, you're going to have a quick look top. And then while you're farming Raptors, you're going to decide, okay, is this like a high percentage gank or is it not? Is his lane pushing, for example? Is he half HP pushing with Ghost? How high is it chance that I'm going to get a kill? If it's like 80%, you should go for it. But if not, you should just pile down. So this is also goes in hand with information gathering and also plan making. So these things kind of all go hand in hand, as you can see. It's all about kind of being aware of what your options are ahead of time so they don't really catch you by surprise when it happens. So we know we want to path the bot. We know we want to play for dragons. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to think about the top gank as we're running to number 3 and as we're clearing 3. But this is where we're going to make a decision, because once we leave this side right here, we're never going to run from wolves to top here, right? So top lane is no longer. We're going to keep clearing down. As we walk, you see this walking? This is where you're gathering information. This little walk here, you're gathering information. Okay, do I gank bot right now? Okay, no, that it's not high enough percentage yet. Nothing's really happening right now. Okay, so we do the wolves. Okay, we do the wolves, and now we're doing the gromp. Okay, we're doing the gromp right now. Oh, there was actually a time where you camera panned here, and I think this is the time where you should have skipped the blue and gone to gank bot. Another good thing about ganking bot is they're immobile, right? So when you hit 6, if you burn their flash in the first clear, they're dead the next time, right? This is essentially fundamental League of Legends. You put your ward down, you pile towards the lane, you have very good tempo, you don't waste time going for low percentage ganks because you're gathering information as you go. So let's just say we do a simple full clear down, we get to the scuttle crab at this situation. Okay, so not talking about this game anymore specifically, but once we take this scuttle and we place whatever, we place our ward or whatever, our Krog starting to spawn is basically like us saying, okay, round complete. No, sorry, before that, before this starts spawning, when we do our full clear like this, we're gonna have like 30 seconds here, right? And this is what I want you to think about is spare tempo. This is, you have 30 seconds right now to gank bot, to place deep vision, which is what you did, to gank mid. Once this 30 seconds is up, you're going back to the Krugs. And then that's round 1 complete. Round 2 begins, and you're doing the same thing. Once you're running to your Krugs here, you're going to thinking time right here, right? This line. Can I gank top? If it's low percentage, if he still has Ghost, if he's full HP, if his wave is in a bad spot, all these bits of information that's contributing to it being a decision where you say no. Okay, we're going to do 1, we're going to do 2. Okay, once we're running to 2, we're going to think, okay, let's start looking at the bot lane now because I'm starting to get in that proximity, right? Now I'm going to start to plan, okay, where did Kai'Sa start? Did she start from top to bot? Did she start from bot to top? You know, if I know that we're mirrored cross like this, if I'm pathing like this and she's pathing like this, well, maybe after Raptors here, I'm going to start to think, okay, maybe this is time to do Dragon. These are basically the fundamentals, and you want to think about your game like rounds. You want to think about your game. You're playing towards in proximity, which is another thing that comes up in this game. You want to be in proximity to the lane that you're playing around, essentially. That is most likely for you to get a kill. And so let's like watch the game now and put these things into action. Also, yeah, the win cons, the Dragon, which we just spoke about. Yeah, good. So let's watch the game now. And we'll kind of put these concepts and we'll kind of, you know, link them up to your gameplay. Okay, so number 1, we need to try and get a ward. Ward is free. You know, it's free to get a ward here. So that's first and foremost number 1. Yeah.
If the ward wasn't free, right? If they had like
then you don't go for
champs.
it. Yeah. Then you just
where would I put my ward then if I'm in
You can just hold it. You can hold it like you did. What you did was fine. Yeah. What you did was completely fine with to use your ward. If it's too scary to get a ward anywhere, right? Unless you're thinking he's going to invade you here, right? Raptors to your Gromp, then you can ward here. You can ask your team to ward here. So you can sometimes use your ward defensively as well, but you're versing a Kai'Sa, so it's correct if you can't ward her jungle to just hold it. Okay,
all right.
So your clear wasn't too bad. Small little thing here with the Raptors. You want to auto attack. You basically just want to already be going here. You want to auto attack this one. Q it so it hits, so they all like kind of chase you here. Q it all, E it all. Also, this walking time here, do you see? Okay, so you look mid, which is good. I think this is good, but remember, like, we also want to make sure update ourselves on top. So I think, okay, the camera frame, yeah.
Would I go top lane? Like, if I see now that Mundo is like low HP and pushing towards our tower, would I go top lane then?
You would, yeah.
Okay.
You would, because he has Ghost, he has no flash. So all you would do is you would just run up to him, whack him with some auto attacks, and you would eventually kill him 100%. Yeah, you would do it.
Okay.
That's why it's important to update yourself. I don't think you really need to pan top here, because currently, even just the information you have from the map, this is enough reason to not go there. It's very unlikely you're going to go top. Okay, which is fine. Okay, good camera pans. You're looking at everything right here as you're running here, right? It's fine. Good. Again, very good camera pans, but how we use that information now is going to be... So actually, your camera pans are pretty good. What does this picture tell you here?
That they push towards us.
They're going to be pushing towards you.
Both are half HP, right?
Yeah, they're going to be pushing towards. However, see, this is where this thing, there's two things that come into play here. Number 1, you can let situations marinate. Okay, this is what I like to call, you let it play out a little bit longer, right? Let it get a little bit juicier. Okay, which is fine. You can do an extra camp here. But you want to consistently update yourself on this situation. Very important, because you want to know when is it going to overcook, you know? If they're if they were like 1 HP here, you would skip 100% if the enemy bot was like 1 HP.
True.
But it's still marinating, okay? Which is good. Okay, we update ourselves again. But you see the problem here, right? When did we ever update ourselves again on the Wolves? Let's see.
I believe I did it after Grom, right?
Yeah, like, I think you did it. I think you did it after. Yeah, right here, right? So we start to look now, and you see how this was an opportunity now before the Grom.
Sure, I should have checked before I started Grom.
You should check. Yeah, it's. I'm telling you, it's that if you can, you should check. Like, you know, the best junglers in the world, they check between every auto attack lanes to get information. That's how you don't have to be that crazy about it. You just need to check before you get to the next camp, because League is all about making decisions ahead of time, so you don't have to make the decision while you're on the Gromp. So if you can already know what you're going to do right here, do the Gromp or gank bot, that's perfect. But right now we're just going straight to do the Gromp, right? We didn't have the information. We didn't have the update. And that camera pan before as well, you have to consider, like, that was a really good pan, because it tells you to like keep your eye on it, kind of thing. Okay, so bot lane, they end up crashing their wave, right? The enemy bot lane ends up crashing the wave. We still don't know where Kai'Sa is, okay? We still don't know where Kai'Sa is. But what's going to happen now that they crash this wave? What's going to happen to this wave that's coming up?
Bounce back towards
bouncing. Good. And we still don't know where Kai'Sa is. So again, this is, information gathering. We gather that the wave is bouncing out. That's pretty much all the information we have now. Kai'Sa is a big question mark, right? What should your play be here as you're hitting blue? What should you be thinking? How are you going to play around the information that you have?
Yeah, I should think if it's safe for me. No, I should like look obviously towards my bot lane, right?
Yes.
And hover them if needed.
Good. Yeah. You should come here, take the scuttle, place your ward here, and hover the bounce. This is what your play should be. If their wave was like, you know, something else, if they had just crashed their wave and they were safe and they were basing here, would you do the same play?
No.
Of course not. Different information, right? In that case, you would just take scuttle, ward this, and then base straight away and value your tempo.
Yeah.
So you can see how information, as soon as you can kind of think about, you know, think about option A and option B. Think about, okay, option A, I take the scuttle and I hover them bot and I recall in this bush and I'm coming back to my round 2 when this spawns. Okay. Option B, I run this way, I ward this, and I base here. Right, this play is still like not that bad, but the thing is that this wave is very important information here, and Kai'Sa being a question mark is also very, like, you can kind of do both by running here, sitting or warding here, then recalling here, right? You can kind of cover both. Yeah. So I think option A, option B is a really great way of doing it as well. Do I have any other specific notes here? Check information. Yeah. So when Kai'Sa actually does go for the gank, again, you're thinking about information, right? You're thinking about this. You're thinking about Cog heal. You're thinking about what did Kai'Sa do? She had to have full clear to bot, right? This just confirms it. So now you know exactly her pathing as well. You know that this is going to spawn when same time as this. This is number 2. So this is number 1. Number 2, you see how you have now free information again. You know all his spawn timers because they're synced to yours. You know that Lulu has no flash. Kog'Maw just used heal. So this is all fine. You know, even though you didn't make the right play, right? You're always thinking now, okay, what's next? Okay, we try and clean up a kill here. This is fine. Okay, we don't get it. We value tempo. We base instantly. Great. But what are we going to do next round now? This is the big part. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, so your tempo is what? The same as Kai'Sa? Because you're both basing here right now, right?
Pretty much, right, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. She's basing right now. She's 1 or 2 seconds behind you. She's 1 or 2 seconds behind you, but you did take, let's see. Did you take were you fast at buying, right? Kind of slow.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was kind of, in general, I feel like this game about kind of slow.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm just trying to get you to realize that you and Kai'Sa's tempo now is pretty much the same here. And also like the huge thing here that I really want you to think about is just that Lulu flash. So this goes back to my little diagram on this rift kit here, which is like on the second round.
I didn't realize that she flashed.
Yeah,
actually,
I mean that's very,
like...
it's something hard to see, but even in like a losing situation, you want to think, how will that affect the game in the next round? You don't want to dwell, oh, I should have been bot, I should have done this, I should have done that. You just want to think instantly, okay, what's next? Okay, Lulu flash. Okay, Kog'Maw did this. Okay, there was a fight bot, so maybe they use summoners, right? Even something like that, even though you're kind of guessing, it's still better than, why was I not bot? Why did I go here? Like dwelling on something that's already happened, you always want to go next.
Yeah.
Right? So here, if you knew that, you would just be like 1, 2, and then, you know, maybe here you can skip this. If Kai'Sa went for this, right, and she has to do 1, 2, 3, well, then this is yours, right? And then you're in proximity to the bot lane, and then you're ganking Lulu. You know, if I thought that this scuttle was yours, I wouldn't really mind it. But this also, remember, this is just a scuttle crab. You being already finished this Krug and doing this is almost valued the same thing. It's almost valued the same, honestly. And the fact that you had to use your combo here, right, just meant that she easily, same tempo, right? You get here at the same time, but you just don't have your combo. Vladimir also had push here. So if we actually go back again...
I didn't look at the map at all when I did this play. Like, Timo wasn't in lane as well. Like, this was just off. I should have just gone to my Crux and clear down. Yep. You see how
important...
And if it said, like, maybe look for her up.
Do you see how important these moments are when it feels like you're doing nothing, but actually you need to start planning? Do you see how important that is now?
Yeah.
So if you start planning here... Okay, let's just say you don't even know Lulu has flash or not. Even still, bot lane just fought, right? And even still, okay, Kai'Sa same tempo as me. Okay, I'm gonna run to Scuttle right now because I think I can one-shot it before she gets it. Let's just say you even think that. Okay, now when you get there, you're like, oh, my team is basing and Vladimir has push. Okay, let's just do Crux. So you have all this time to think, and this is very, very important that you do that. Obviously, you're thinking, okay, I think I can get top grab, but you can see how deeper you need to go. So you see how this next round played out, right? So like Kai'Sa cleared down, she shows mid, and again, same thing again, right? So you camera pan here, okay? You're thinking, you're giving yourself updates. You see Kai'Sa's here, 2 very bits of important information, even here. Which way is Kai'Sa going to go? Is she going this way or is she going this way? So actually panning your camera here right now could be very, very important, because if she's running top with the late fog of war, then you're instantly thinking option A, option B. Option A, dive bot. Option B, take dragon. Always do the obviously the better play. But you even said it yourself. You're like, oh, I think I could have dove bot, but you need to think earlier.
Yeah, I think
you could even be thinking back here, right?
Yeah, exactly. I looked there, but I'm super hesitant with diving
Well, the thing is that Kai'Sa is piling down as well. So you should be kind of hesitant. You should be. But then
right. She's bot as well, right? But even if she wasn't going bot, I feel like I still prefer, or I still would go for Drake.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you saw her like top or something and you didn't die bot, then that's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Because I've so many bad experiences with diving, right? Like, I feel like it goes horribly wrong so many times. Like, no one really knows how to dive, I feel like, in lower elo, right? Myself included.
It's the same thing, though. It's like, you shouldn't go for a low percentage dive. You should consider the information. This guy's Zoom, this guy's not good. Kai'Sa can still, because we didn't look here, Kai'Sa can still be bot. So in actual fact, it was correct for you to just hit dragon here. This actually was correct. The way you do dragon, though, is you need to pink, pull it out, and then you're fine. And you should do dragon here. You actually shouldn't get off dragon here. What if you get off dragon here, you run here, and then Kai'Sa's just killed Krugs here, and you waste time, which is kind of what happened. I mean, we still don't know where Kai'Sa is, right? So all about planning. It's all about knowing what you're going to do with the information that you have. If you don't have information, you know, there is some educated guessing, but you just accept it. Like in the first round, we don't know where Kai'Sa is. It's a big question mark. We don't know until she shows. This is also why showing, you know, people will sometimes always say, okay, you shouldn't show as jungle. Yeah, because you're giving away information. Information is the number one thing. Okay, we'll conclude things here. There were a lot of other things, but I think if you just focus on these things for now, obviously that game was quite long. Let's look at the 7. Yeah, here as well, right? This is the same thing about your tempo. So this goes back to that theme of tempo. And when your Krugs spawn, it's a new round. So you use your tempo here. You take this. Kai'Sa clears. He probably takes this. You need to recall right now and do this again. You shouldn't stay here. You should just buy 2 longswords and run to your Krug. Because this is now starting the 3rd round. You see how this Krug red raptors spawn, and now your cycle's beginning again? This is when you should base. You wasted a lot of tempo here doing all this. Because look, you're trying to contest. You're trying to get both a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, right? That was my plan.
Yeah, you're trying to do both, but you should just base here, and then if she hadn't done it by now, you base here, right? You run here. Maybe if she hasn't cleared it yet, then you can come here, throw a flag, and check.
Makes sense.
And then 8:30 is where you say this is a typical Jarvan game, and it's because you're not number one, you're not planning ahead. Here, okay, we're gonna do dragon and we're gonna do bot dive. Number 2, you're not thinking about the tempo of, okay, my round starts again, I'm gonna go here like this, and then maybe I can skip these camps and gank bot and keep playing around this proximity here. There was one more thing. I'm gonna quickly get it in.
The thing is, right?
Actually, no. We'll conclude things here. This is good. What is it?
I mean, I feel like I play Jarvan pretty much like I play Shyvana, right?
Yeah.
And like, would this still be like a mistake on Shyvana, or is it
it would still be a mistake on Shyvana, yeah.
Okay.
Because the thing is, like, you shouldn't assume that top scuttle is yours. Why would this top scuttle ever be yours? The Kai'Sa's not here. She's not here. She's not anywhere here, right?
Yeah.
She 100% is somewhere here doing these things. So you should assume that this is gone. You shouldn't waste your time trying to run here. Now, if she had just ganked top right now, for example, if she had just ganked top and you thought, well, okay, Mundo has to base, he's 1 HP, and I can take this and then I can run here, then you can match. It's called match or trade, right? But right now, you can't run here. You can't run up here because this is her side. You should assume it's just a trade. You're getting dragon, she's getting grubs. This is where playing in high elo, you'll get punished for this because she will take grubs. She will take the scuttle. People will force you to have better habits. Base there. Base when your Krugs are spawning.